Virginia, William Hill, America's #1 sports book, is now here. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Terms and conditions apply. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call, text, or chat our confidential and toll-free helpline at 1-888-532-3500. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Oh, what's going on with the kids?
I am too, right? Oh.
What's going on with the kids, Leanna?
I said I'm supposed to take them to the mall later.
Ah.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, definitely fun. How are the malls there, by the way? Are they fairly open?
Yeah, I think they're open. I don't know. Like, I have to like drive like half an hour to get to a mall from like where I am. And I think they're open. You just have to wear masks everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
You know what's weird, Liana? Like, at my mall out here, they have an Apple store, right? And it was closed for, like, 3 or 4 months. But, like, literally every other state, like, that neighbors me is, like, open. It's so weird.
That's how it was here. Yeah, everything's open here. You just have to wear masks. But,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we outside, okay? Like, DeWine this close from removing all help orders. And, we out.
You can go to, like, a restaurant.
Our mask mandate ends in April sometime, like April 10th or something.
Yeah, we can go to restaurants, Liana. We can, there ain't really no restrictions. First, we had curfew, which was a really good for us because it had everybody in the house by 10. Then he lift curfew, and then pretty much we about to be outside in a minute, like with no mask going, no nothing, because they literally just passed a bill that pretty much vetoes his ability to put state orders out there, and that happened yesterday. So I expect our health orders to go away sometime next week, which is sad.
Yeah, like here you can go to a restaurant and you have to wear a mask in the restaurant, but then when you sit at the table, you can take it off.
Oh wow!
Same.
Like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's not like that there, champ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
what?
yeah, here in Memphis, we still have some orders. Restaurants are about at 50% capacity. And, we're still wearing masks, except for, I guess, when you're eating your food or drinking your drink. So, go figure. But
I think, not the whole restaurant's open, like, here. So it's different. But, like, I don't know how many cases of COVID we've had over the past, 24 hours. I don't know. I'm just looking online real quick.
Hey guys, Rihanna, it's crazy out here because there's a Texas Roadhouse, and I went there with my girl one time, and we forgot our masks. So one of the workers was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Like, we just got held up at gunpoint earlier for someone not wanting to wear a mask."
What?
So, shit is crazy out here.
Wait,
what? You're in Salt Lake City, right?
That the owner from Texas Roadhouse, killed himself just a couple of days ago because of side effects from COVID. Like, he had tinnitus in his ear, and he couldn't stop the ringing, so he just committed suicide. I thought that was so sad.
Wow.
That is sad. That's crazy. I never heard that.
I just looked. We had, in all of British Columbia, we had 716 new cases and 21 new cases where I am.
Wow.
So we've been really lucky on the island not to have very many cases of COVID.
Oh, for us, we just got 1,900 new cases as of yesterday, and now just imagine with the mask orders about to go away. It's about to be insane. It's sad.
I think your cases are so low in Canada because all the people up there are smart.
Yeah, well, they closed the borders, right? Like, the Canadian,
yeah, you can't go up there without.
They closed the borders. Like, we were on lockdown way before people in the States were.
Yeah, it's a 14-day quarantine, right?
Month before, and then they started letting people in that said they were going to Alaska, and then that's how it got spread around. And then now we're just not allowed to travel.
Yeah, Leanna, that was a 14-day quarantine for coming across the border now? Is that still in play?
Yeah, that's still in effect, yeah.
Wow. Hey, listen, guys, I guess we don't want to depress everybody with our COVID talk.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't even. This is like I really don't even pay attention to what's
Right.
going on, but it's kind of nice to like sort of hear what's happening every now
Right.
and again.
Absolutely. No, without question. So we'll go ahead and get rolling. Again, thank you, everybody. Hit the plus sign. Let's try not to use the PING word, but hit the plus sign and invite your friends in for the room. This is an open forum, wholesaling power hour. My name's Ron Brooks. I go by Champ Ron. I'm here in the Memphis, Tennessee market. And I've got some nearest and dearest friends and family here on stage that we want to have some conversation. This is a safe space. We're going to just open it up for whatever you'd like to talk about, specifically as it relates to real estate, whether that's wholesaling or whatever your exit strategy is. If you've got deals you're working on, whatever you've got on your heart, let's have some conversation. Hit the green house there at the top for the Property Champs Club. And that way you can tap in and make sure that you're a part of any power hours that we open up. And definitely like to thank Jack and Gina and Leanna here as our moderators. And we want to allow everyone to get a chance to speak. So hit the raise your hand button there at the bottom. You can come on up. If you got a question or anything to add to the conversation, feel free to do that, and we will leave you on stage. So I'm not that moderator that's going to bump you back down and that sort of thing. We'll leave you on so that you can continue to participate and chime in. So with that, I want to kick it over to Jack and then Gina and then Liana for some introductions. And then, let's hear from Nicholas, Cash, Pauline, and Cassandra, and then anybody else.
Yo, thanks, Champ, for the room. I'm Jack from Salt Lake City. I just closed the deal last Friday, picked up my check on
Hey!
so that was cool. That was actually my first deal. It was a pretty big, pretty expensive house as well. So
Now, share them numbers real quick. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy.
I mean, the ARV was about 1.1, 1.2 million, somewhere in that range. Like, the whole house was wired for like a whole second kitchen and laundry room downstairs. So it was a pretty big house, 3,500 square feet. But I think I'm gonna just focus on the bigger houses now in my wholesaling career. So let's see how that goes.
Is that the one that you messaged me about the other day?
No, the other day about the one that was in Colorado, I believe.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That was the Montrose, Colorado one.
Got it. Just quickly, I might be away for about 5 minutes. I'm just gonna hop on a call so I can introduce myself later.
All right, sounds good, Leanna. No worries. Always appreciate you tapping in. And Jack, my man, I love hearing that, man. So it sounds like no worries about the restaurants en masse. You got it all covered, man. You're out there making money. That's tremendous and solving problems. And I know Jack and I were working on a deal here in Memphis. And Jack actually reached out to a couple of my other buyers on that particular property. And I never heard back from your guy, so I have to try him back again, the guy that you linked me up with. But I will do that. I just left him a couple messages and just didn't hear back, so I'll keep trying. But Jack's definitely on it for sure, so we appreciate him being here. And Gina, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, what you got going on, and let everybody know how they can tap in with you.
Good afternoon. Well, I'm afternoon right now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gina, realtor here in Columbus, Ohio, and I wholesale as well. You can tap in with me pretty much anywhere on Clubhouse because I follow these guys everywhere that I go. Or you can always DM me because, you can DM me. But, I'm working on trying to not skip, but SMS blast my first list. But I guess I'm going to wait for Champ, because me and Champ are going to start working together, so I'm excited about that. But other than that, I started taking this business credit course, so I'm trying to build business credit and utilize some money, and that's about it right now.
Yep, no doubt about it. And Gina, matter of fact, after this, let's go ahead and tap in on Zoom so that we can get that moving for sure. Definitely, I'm extremely excited about that. It's going to be a great opportunity. No doubt. So Leanna had to step away for just a couple of minutes, so we'll circle back to her. My guy Ty, what's going on, man? If you don't follow Ty on IG, definitely tap in with him. He's putting in the work and he's documenting it, right? And he hosts an accountability room here that you definitely want to plug and be in tune with. So Ty, go ahead and unmic, man, and introduce yourself, man. What you got going on? Let's do it.
What up, family? What up, Champ, Jack, Gina, Leanna, everybody else in the room? Cassandra, I see you in here. Sabby down there as well. Always good to be in rooms with you guys. Like we always say, we're a little family here, so always here to support and add value when I can. My name's Ty, wholesaling out of Atlanta. I've been doing this since November consistently. And like Champ said, I just be documenting my journey to help hold myself accountable, inspire, and to give value when I can to people who follow me. Yeah, I haven't closed my first one yet. Actually, have one. It's supposed to be closing tomorrow, but we had to get the date pushed back to Tuesday due to some wire issues with the buyer. So fingers crossed on my first deal. So just ready to, just here to learn and give value when I can. And I'll be in and out as well, Champ. I'm on the job, so I'm just here to listen and help when I can.
Yes, sir, man. You always putting the work in, so we appreciate you tapping in. And anytime you want to hop in, as you know, brother, definitely provide that insight like you normally do. Nicholas, Mike, and let's hear from you. Provide an introduction, kind of where you are, and that sort of thing. Let's do it. Nicholas, you there? If you are, you're on mute. Nicholas might have fell asleep already. We're just getting started. Nicholas already fell asleep at the party. We'll circle back with Nicholas. My man Cash, you've been in some tremendous rooms providing great insight, and always love to hear from you and your story, my man. And so why don't you unmic and share with us, give an introduction. Let's do it.
Hey, Champ. Thank you for hosting the room. And excuse me. Been a real estate investor for about the last 7 years, and just jumped in the room because a lot of you guys have so much new stuff to drop. It's crazy how much people know out there. We're all doing our thing in our own markets, and I'm just a really curious person, and love to know about different markets and different things people are doing. And so happy to help in any way I can, and super excited to learn from people. I've done a few deals. Started in wholesaling. Did a few hundred of those. My wife and I have done about 800 fix and flips, and nearly just a little over 2,000 owner finance deals. And currently our focus right now is just raising capital to fund those deals. So that's where we're at now, and excited to be in the room.
Excellent, Cash. I know you're being a little modest with that, my man, but you definitely have been in the game and been a game changer, definitely with your business and the areas that you work in and then beyond. So glad to have you on stage, my man, and in the room, and look forward to hearing from you here as we dive into some conversation. Pauline, who's been a guest here at the Power Hour. She's definitely a friend of the Power Hour. She was a Q&A guest we had actually a couple weeks ago. And long time no talk, Pauline. We were just talking a little bit earlier. So it's great to have you in the room, and love to have you introduce yourself and share a few thoughts. Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually on a treadmill right now, and I'm from Southern California. As an investor, we've done fix and flips out here in Southern California, and I do buy and holds in Memphis. And while I'm working out, I'm here to kind of listen in with the group.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So definitely keep doing that, Pauline. You're putting in the work all the way around. So definitely that's inspiring. I need to get my workout in too. I'm here in the room with a bunch of workout equipment, but I need to use it a little bit more often. So you definitely inspired that, Pauline. So it's always great tapping in with you. Cassandra, why don't you unmic? It's always good. You provide great insight and that sort of thing. And so love to hear from you. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Cassandra. I'm a wholesaler and basically in the Greensboro, North Carolina area. Wanted to say hello to my newfound family, Champ, Jack, Gina, Proud, Ty, Naomi is here. Thank you all always thank you for allowing me to be on the panel. And I'm here to learn, to network, and give value wherever I can. Thank you.
Yep, Cassandra, you definitely do that. And so love to have you here and definitely tap in again as we get into some conversation. Always love to hear that insight. Sabi, what's going on? Why don't you unmic and introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on. Let's do it.
Hey y'all, my name is Savvy. Sorry, I just kind of woke up. From Seattle. Just got into wholesaling. Still working on my first deal. And yeah, just learned a lot, but still working on that first deal.
That first deal's en route, as you know it. So you just got to keep working. It's like Todd said, you put the work in every day with those behaviors, and it's definitely going to come. That's just the way it works. Good things come to those that hustle. I had a coach tell me that when I was really young, and just always stuck with me. So definitely keep the progress going. Naomi, thanks for coming up, and you provide great insight again, like all of us do, and love to hear from you. Why don't you introduce yourself? Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Naomi. I'm from California. I'm recently moved to Mississippi, and I'm in the Alabama-Mississippi market, or wherever, to be honest. But thank you for inviting me up. I actually want to just sit in the audience and listen because I'm about to get on some calls and push today. I'm about to call some investors and some sellers. So that's what I'm going to do. I actually just want to listen in for a few minutes before I do that because I'm getting started a little late in my day. So I'm going to get some coffee, y'all. So...
Yeah, definitely understand that, Naomi. Definitely put that work in. I'll leave you on stage, and if you hear something that you want to jump in on, definitely feel free to do so while you're working. That's one of the great, tremendous things about Clubhouse is we can do that. That makes it a little different than other social media. So thank you so much. Edward, you came up on stage, my man. Thank you so much for joining in with us, and would love for you to introduce yourself and hear what you got going on. Let's do it.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, man, how you doing? Why don't you introduce yourself and share with us a couple words what you got going on?
I'm in the Georgia market. I'm beginning wholesaler, trying to get started. I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get organized and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get my list together and stuff like that. But I haven't called anyone yet.
I got you, Edward. Before, as you're starting your wholesale business, what have you been doing? Have you kind of been in any form of real estate, or is this kind of new territory for you? What kind of work were you doing?
It's new territory. I'm just not getting started in real estate.
I got you. And you're in, you said, are you in Atlanta? I know you said Georgia. Are you like north Georgia, kind of Atlanta? Or?
Yeah, I'm North Georgia. I'm in Oakwood.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Dig that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely glad to have you, and definitely feel free to chime in or ask any questions and kind of participate in the conversation today.
All right, I will do.
Yep, yes, sir. So, again, everybody, this is an open forum today. Normally, we'll have, or I'll invite different folks, like you heard Pauline a couple weeks ago. You heard Danielle Reed, who's with DR and Associates. These are folks that I work with and think very highly of, and that are part of, kind of the real estate process, kind of from my end. And I love it, for you all to get introduced to them and connect with them as well and also learn. But today we have an open forum, so we want to just get into kind of whatever you've got going on as it relates to real estate. If you've got questions, if you're working on a particular deal, you've got some folks that can help you kind of navigate that piece, or just whatever you want to discuss as it relates to real estate. So with that, I'm going to kind of open it up for Jack or Gina or Leanna or Ty or anyone else. If you want to raise a topic or ask a question, let's do it.
I got one. Let's talk about right now since I'm about to dabble into it, SMS and ringless voicemail. Would you do RVM over SMS? Kind of like in your your dispositions process, I would say. Like, would you be? Well, no, it'd be acquisitions. Okay, so would you go like ringless voicemail, SMS, cold calling, or would you go cold calling, RVM, SMS? Like, I just want to see like how others are thinking about, or if they do ringless voicemails, do they do that over SMS? Just curious.
Oh, I got thoughts on that, but I'm going to open it up to the room before I chime in. So, no, I love that, Leanna. That's really dope. Yeah. Really dope question. So, who's got some thoughts on Gina's topic?
And Cash, do you do any of like RVMs or SMS? I'll be curious to see.
This is why I jump in these rooms. I don't even know what RVM is.
Oh, it's game changer. Yes. Okay, somebody elaborate because I'm curious.
Yeah, so RVM is a ringless voicemail, and so it's a technology that allows Cash, and for everybody else in the room, for essentially a call to go out to a cell phone. So through the cell phone carrier system. This is a technology that essentially kind of bypasses, and of course I don't have to get into my inner nerd, but it essentially bypasses the cellular network and allows for a audio message to be left on someone's phone. So as you know how cell phones work, of course, we get the notification when you receive a voicemail. So the value in a ringless voicemail is without it placing a direct cellular phone call, it leaves a voice message on the phone. So you may have gotten some of these, Cash, where the phone doesn't ring, but all of a sudden a voicemail pops up, and you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, where'd this come from?" That's ultimately what that is that ringless voicemail, just RVM. So when you've placed those, a seller in this instance could receive that. They could listen to it. They could call back. They could text back, whatever. And so it's been effective. Form of kind of reaching out from an acquisition standpoint for many people. So hope that helps, Cash.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. We don't currently use that. Kind of the model that we use is highly automated, so that kind of fits in the vein of what we do. But we also feel like annoying people it never worked for us. And so we following up until they buy or die is absolutely critical in our business. But we like to do that by asking the question, how can we add unique value to the person we're trying to contact? And so what we do is we use a program called BombBomb, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. We've used that quite a bit. It's increased our response rates by up to 80% by sending videos to people, but we personalize those videos. So we actually we hire someone to sit down, write someone's name on a whiteboard, get their name into a video, and make them feel as special and as we possibly can. So we found that if we can just improve open rates, if we can just focus on open rates by making the things that we send out valuable to people and making it highly clickable, we've found that our message is uniquely tailored enough to get really, really good response rates. So we've found that video is the most powerful form for responses and converting leads for us currently.
Hey, Cash, that's incredible. And you're sending those videos out via email, I guess. So if you kind of extract a list of sellers, are you then essentially skip tracing for their email? Creating these personalized kind of automated videos and sending them out that way? Or kind of what's that process that you can unpack for us?
We'll actually use it in a couple of different ways. So we don't currently do cold calling, and that's something we have given some effort into, but it wasn't as effective as some of the other channels that we utilize. So yes, you're right. We do utilize email, but we focus on inbound marketing mostly, which is getting our value proposition in front of highly qualified leads. And we do that mainly through the use of internet. So we kind of we own several other businesses. We own a motorcycle manufacturing company out in Los Angeles and a hair care company between New York and Los Angeles. And we do the real estate investing mainly in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so we've taken some of those marketing principles from e-commerce and we've put them and injected them into our real estate business. And what those principles are, looking at the largest market that we can, getting the largest pool of highly qualified people and getting in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people rather than hundreds. And so we're exposing our market, we're exposing our value proposition to really, really targeted audiences who then we call them to take an action through a funnel, whether that's we give something for free and then the next thing in the funnel is something for $12 and the next thing is $1,000. We use those same principles in our real estate marketing. And so what we get is just we'll be generating 10 to 15 qualified leads a day and be seeing 3 to 5 houses a day. And then we'll be buying anywhere from, on an average of 1 to 2 of those. So that funnel for us works really well. And the way that video works in that is when someone reaches out to us via email, text, response, a landing page, whatever, we respond within seconds via a personalized automated response in a video. And then immediately someone will try to make personal contact with them. And then we will, if we can't make personal contact, we'll then drop that contact into an automation program that it runs between our CRM using Zapier that sends them what we call 24/7, which is 24 attempts to make contact in 7 days, but it's all automated. And so they'll get dropped into that funnel. And they'll get sent videos, texts, emails, anything, DMs. We'll reach out to them on Facebook. They'll get an automated letter sent to them. So we'll hit them from every single angle. And what we usually find when we close a deal is like, hey, why'd you pick us? And they said, I don't know, I just saw you everywhere. and that's a really good sign that you are branding and marketing yourself well. And video has just been a really powerful tool to connect quickly in that funnel program.
Wow, that's definitely incredible. I was actually jotting down some notes as you were explaining that, Cash. So you definitely have a lot of systems in place, right? And you've got a lot of various channels that are highly automated. That kind of enhance your efficiency. So I definitely took some notes with that, and I'd love to connect with you offline just to tap in and learn a little bit more, because that may be there may be some aspects of what you're doing that me and maybe some others may be interested in incorporating, whether it's immediate or maybe at some point down the line. So definitely thank you for that, man. That's tremendous value. Gina, what's your question? So, for me, it's kind of evolved over time. Currently today, I don't do quite.
Hey, Washington, D.C., spring is almost here, and now's the perfect time to get a healthy, pest-free lawn with your local experts at True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 877-461-0681 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Virginia, William Hill, America's #1 sportsbook, is now here. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF.
Terms and conditions apply. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call, text, or chat our confidential and toll-free helpline at 1-888-532-3500.
Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
As much cold calling as I used to, right? Kind of in my early days and first several years, I was kind of mostly just kind of strict cold calling. And so now today I do a good bit of, kind of driving for dollars, or what I like to refer to now as driving for opportunity. So I do that, several hours per week, just kind of looking and actually, knocking on doors. And so we were talking about kind of the whole COVID stuff, before we got started. But I found that now people really appreciate, just that face-to-face. Of course, somewhat of a distance, right? But that face-to-face, kind of conversation. So that doesn't give you obviously the automation or the quantity, but I am having some good quality conversations at that point. And then when I utilize List, right now today my introduction to people is through SMS or text message, communication reach out, and I'm doing that automated through a site called Lead Genie. So that's leadgenie.com. And so essentially I'm skip tracing a list. I've used Skip Matrix here recently that appears to be very good, but there's many different skip tracing, services as we know. And so I skip trace that list, I upload it into Lead Genie, and then I'm able to set up and kind of automated text that it can include the person's name and address and that sort of thing. And then I'm going through those responses, and the software identifies responses based on whether people, respond back in a more negative fashion, or they say no, stop, how'd you get my number, all that type of stuff. And then the people that say, hey, yeah, I'll take this amount, or yes, I'd be interested in talking more, or yeah, you need to talk to Al, or whoever, whatever they respond back, then those are getting a phone call. So my process is to get them off of text message as quick as possible, and then get them on the phone, right? And so I'm doing that in both the Memphis, Tennessee market, as well as in Ocala, Florida currently. And then Gina and I will be working on that later today, starting in Columbus, Ohio. And so that's my process. So I'm having slightly warmer conversations because I'm not interrupting people's day. Of course, the statistics will show you that people utilize their phone way more for text messaging than they do for actually making phone calls, right? For those that remember the kind of the evolution of the cell phone prior to the iPhone, right? Everything was real call heavy, and now just like we're doing here on Clubhouse and everything else, everything's more either text heavy or kind of listening to audio. But people don't really check voicemail much anymore, and phone calls when people are at work or kind of doing different things sometimes can be a little more interruptive. And so what I found is, text message kind of gives people a little bit of that control. They're not put on the spot. They don't have to feel pressure to respond right immediately. But then, I can have, kind of a little bit more quality conversation with, at least I know that the person responding, there's a good chance that it's the person I'm trying to reach out to, the actual owner. And we can kind of pick up the conversation right off the text and try to build that trust and confidence to then have, future conversations about that property or what, any other properties that they may have an interest in selling. So, Gina, I don't do as much ringless voicemail. I have done that. Of course, you got to be careful that if you're starting out with ringless voicemail, you want to make sure you're not doing too many of those at once, especially if you're going to be the only one that's going to be responding. I made a mistake early on one time. I sent out like 1,000 ringless voicemails at once, and I started getting blasted with all these return phone calls, right, that I couldn't even I spent the next week basically trying to get back in touch with all those different people. So you want to make sure you have that controlled, unless you have some processes in place or other people to help answer the phones and have those conversations. So Gina, did that kind of, I know that was long-winded, but did that kind of help provide?
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, because even when I sit here and think about myself personally, I never check voicemail, so it's just like, okay, yeah. But makes me want to go look and see if I do have any kind of like ringless voicemails. But that's a good concept. And then I do check text, obviously, always. So I think that'll be the route. So can't wait for you to show me how that goes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Who else has thoughts on Gina's question? I think it's an intriguing question and something of interest. So who else has some thoughts? Not everybody at once.
Well, I think that was a lot of value, just even from what Cash was saying. I think that's just the automation of it. I like that 24/7 concept of it. So definitely sound like he does personalize his marketing to each individual that he is reaching out to. It may sound like a lot, but once you get systems and everything in place, I see why they're able to do the results that they are because of the processes and systems that they have in place with marketing. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that, Cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll jump in and add one more thing to that. And something that we're working on right now, we don't know if it works, but what we found with the 24/7 was that contacting someone 30 times in 7 days, actually we got more negative responses, and 24 just seemed like the magic number. It was actually 23, but 23/7 just didn't sound as good as 24/7. So we used 24/7 and just said, hey, we'll kind of contact them one more time than 23. But if you're really measuring every activity and the results in your business, then you'll be able to kind of figure those things out and figure out how to repeat and scale what actually works. But you got to first know what works. The other thing we're trying right now is just to kind of weigh how the market is consuming content and media, how they are connecting with people. And we want to slide into those areas and offer our services inside of those worlds. So if we're selling motorcycle parts, it's to a demographic that is on TikTok and Instagram, and if we're selling, if we're in the real estate, we find that Facebook has a little bit of an older demographic, and older people have a little more equity in their homes. So we're looking at what types of content are getting reactions from certain demographics and getting responses on what they're enjoying consuming. And then we try to create content that is enjoyably consumable to get in front of them. We don't have any data on this yet, but we're trying to get into it. So just thought I'd share that as a new thing that we're doing.
No, definitely some cool stuff. And again, that's why I really want to tap in with you, Cash, because it sounds like you've got some nice kind of well-laid plans on how you kind of execute on that. That definitely want to kind of learn from and maybe pick and see where some of that could benefit my business now or again or down the line. So definitely appreciate that. Did anybody else have any thoughts on? I have a topic I wanted to bring up, but did anybody else have any thoughts on Gina's topic of kind of RVM versus text messaging versus cold calling?
Yeah, I can add something to that.
Yes,
so
sir.
What I do, I primarily, I'm gonna just start off by saying you have to kind of choose what works for you and what works for your time and what's actually giving you results. So I would say like something like SMS and RVM would probably work for somebody who doesn't have the amount of time to do cold calls right throughout the day. So what I typically do for myself is I have like a system or a cycle, I would say. So I primarily do I do cold calling first, then I do SMS, and then I'll do like not a ringless voicemail, but I'll leave a voicemail with my cold call. So I have like a process when I do that. So I'm touching the sellers, the homeowners, multiple ways, trying to figure out which method are they most responsive to. And then after that, if I go through that whole cycle and I don't get any responses or anything like that, then I'll change my phone number up and then I'll try a different route that way. And you can see some results that way too, because sometimes that phone number kind of runs stale. So if you're going to keep cold calling and calling people from the same phone number, they may start receiving that phone number as spam, or they may not be getting it, the scam likely thing and stuff like that. So you want to cycle those phone numbers. And that's kind of how I process my thing. I do a couple cold calls, like maybe 2 to 3 cold calls. Then I'll leave an SMS message. And then if they don't respond to that, I'll do a cold call and then a voicemail and then kind of go through that way. And that's just like a little broad cycle of how I do my marketing.
Hey, Todd, man, I definitely, what I love about what you said is you said something very powerful, which is, you cycle through those different methods of touch points, right? Because everybody's different. And so, just like real estate, communication can be very dynamic, right? It's like even what I was saying earlier, with text messaging, I probably miss a good number of people because there are some people that may not respond, right, to text messaging especially as an initial communication. So that's actually something that could be an opportunity for me, that kind of being again remaining dynamic in that process, because it can vary, like you said. So you have kind of those 3 different touch points, and I have a couple different touch points as well, but I love that. I think that's powerful, especially in the beginning, right? And Gina, you'll see this when we go through our process. I actually purchase different phone numbers. So when I'm, say starting SMS out with a list of say 2,000, I may purchase 5 or 6 phone numbers, to Ty's point, because phone numbers become stale, they get flagged, all that type of stuff. And so within the system I use in Lead Genie, you're actually able to make a phone call right there on your computer to the number, from the number that initially reached out to that seller. So if one of those purchased numbers was the one that reached out, I can call from that number if I want to, or I can call from my normal line, right? And so it provides that flexibility. But yeah, no, definitely, bro, those are some great points you made, Ty. All right. Anything else on kind of RVM, SMS, cold calling, that sort of thing? Anybody else have any thoughts?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
So Ty, when you I'm at work as well, so please excuse me. Normally what I do is I use Lead Genie as well, and I just send out the SMS blast first before cold calling. But was it Ty that you said you cold call and send out the text as well? Or was that Champ?
Yeah, so what I do initially, I cold call first. I do a cycle of cold calling. If they don't respond to 3 cold calls, then that's when I send out an SMS message. If it's a mobile number, obviously. That's kind of my system and process I have.
Okay.
But whatever works for you, I say rock it. You know what I mean? If SMS is getting you results first, then go for it. But like Champ says he sends that SMS, and if they respond with something like, hey, I want to sell, or I'm interested in selling, anything along those lines, you want to immediately grab them and get them on the phone as soon as possible and turn that SMS to a cold call, a calling conversation. But sometimes some people are more receptive to the text message. You'll have a whole full blast conversation via text message, and they probably won't even respond to your call, even if you just called them. So it just all depends on the person. So you got to kind of figure out and read that particular person.
Now, one thing I haven't done is use the Ringless voicemail. That's part of our lead genie, and I was going to start using that. So, Champ, have you used the Ringless voicemail in lead genie?
Yeah, Cassandra, I have, and it works very well. So essentially, you record, or you can record kind of an audio file. You have to record that as a Windows file, and you basically upload that, and you set kind of like your SMS campaign. You just set the parameters on the times that you want those to go out. And the good thing about Lead Genie is 2 things. One, there's a button that you can click in Lead Genie to make sure that you're capturing do not call list. So that's something really big. The other thing is it also helps flag for people who are known litigators, right? So there are people out there who look to kind of pry on people who may be cold calling or.
Virginia, William Hill, America's #1 sportsbook, is now here. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF.
Terms and conditions apply. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call, text, or chat our confidential and toll-free helpline at 1-888-532-3500.
Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Companies cold calling, and they look to kind of overtly sue, right? And so the software can help kind of weed some of those folks out as well. Now, again, I've been doing this a long time. I've never had that happen, but it does happen, right? And so it does protect from that. But yeah, I have used that to answer your question, Cassandra, and it has been good. The one thing, again, I'll go back to is depending on what your capacity is, and I do have a VA, but I utilize her for kind of a different piece of my business other than kind of taking inbound calls, just because that gets expensive with your VA. I try to manage that cost, and so I do ringless voicemail within a certain capacity, because when you send those out, if you send out, say, again, 1,000 of them all at once, then you're going to get a bunch of people. You might get 250 people, right? Calling you back almost all at once, and you can have them go to a voicemail, but you'll end up spending a lot of time returning a lot of calls, which could be good, but just know that could run you into a capacity issue.
Okay, so with that, what do you use your VA for?
So I use my VA for data. So I have bird dogs, here in Memphis and then in Ocala, and so my business is kind of more street based, right? So like I said, I do a good bit of kind of driving for opportunity, and then I've got bird dogs that are out in the streets. They're out pulling lists, and so I have them as well as myself. So I send things to my VA, and she's kind of qualifying it. She's doing some of the research data piece that, quite frankly, I don't make the time for. And then she's able to make some outbound calls, right, with the idea of kind of qualifying them or further qualifying them. She has a checklist that I've provided and trained her with. And she's American, right? I use Riva Global. So I pay a little bit more, but she's sitting in Denver, Colorado, right? So, and not overseas, which kind of helps. It helps from a cultural standpoint. And then I provide her, obviously, her phone numbers and that sort of thing. So yeah, she spends her time, kind of in that data piece, and then, in qualifying. And so what helps me with closing deals is, the warmer conversations I can have, because I don't have as many conversations as you would like with kind of like cold calling a list. but I'm able to have, some quality conversations. Now, I may miss out on opportunities as a result of that. So that's the catch-22. But like Ty said, whatever process works for you, I agree with him 1,000%. That's what you use. And so there's going to be kind of the ups and downs of any process, but, you use what works for you that ultimately gets you, the results that you're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Any other questions or thoughts on that topic? All right. If not, I want to kind of jump over to social media a little bit because I think Gina brought this up, and I know Ty had the challenge in his weekly accountability group that you should definitely tap into on Wednesdays and Sundays. I believe, Ty, that's at 6 p.m. Central, right? 7 Eastern?
Yeah, 7 Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and then I guess you can look at the other time zones as well.
Yeah.
and correlate that.
Right.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 to 9 p.m.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't want to throw people off because we got people in. That's the great thing about Clubhouse. We got people in different time zones. But Ty had the challenge in his group about kind of posting the social media. So I wanted to throw out, how are you guys utilizing social media in your business? And particularly for those of you that are maybe starting out, you may have to do some cleanup of your social media and maybe a little bit of pivoting from content you may have been sharing. But how are you guys using social media? And to Cash's point earlier, how are you guys kind of creating engaging content, to help kind of spur your business? So I'll open that up to the floor. And if you're in the audience, raise your hand and come up to the stage. We'd love to hear from you as well.
What's the question? How do we use social media in our business?
Yeah. So how are you utilizing social media? Through the various platforms, Leanna, and what are you doing, or what's kind of your philosophy, so to speak, on the type of content, how you create and kind of curate that content, to ultimately reach the goals as it relates to your business.
Yeah. So I don't use social media as much as I'd like to. I do use paid advertising through Facebook, like paid Facebook ads, which work. It varies depending on what market you're in, how much you're going to pay, but it does take a lot of time. So it's almost like you need somebody to manage it, because it can take time understanding how to do Facebook ads, period. But it does work. I get quite a few messages and stuff from how you go on Facebook and you'll see sponsored ads or whichever, and then people will comment on those ads. So
right.
You do get trolls and stuff that comment mean crap, and you just kind of deal with it. But that and the free way to use Facebook in Facebook groups, I don't utilize it as much as I should be, but Instagram I never really used until Clubhouse. I had an Instagram account, but Clubhouse, obviously I utilize it when people are messaging and whatnot. That's really, I have a website as well, but I don't do a lot of inbound marketing. So really just the paid Facebook ads, is what I'm using.
Gotcha.
As far as social media, yeah.
Yeah, no, dig that. And so, what's kind of your philosophy? I'm curious because I haven't done as many Facebook ads, but when I go into it, when you're selecting your budget and area and all that type of thing, is there kind of a science behind that, Leanna, or is it kind of kind of up in the air?
It sort of just depends on what kind of campaign you're going to run. I run a lead generation campaign. And then I usually start at 10 or $20. Yeah, usually $10 a day. And then depending on, and then when I go to the next page, and you used to be able to click zip codes, but you can't anymore. Facebook changed the rules, so you can't pick zip codes, which kind of sucks. But you can pick counties. So I just pick the counties that I kind of want to target, and then. There's a couple different ways you can do about it if you want to add keywords and stuff in. You can do it. like Realtor.com or Zillow or Refinance, or there's a whole bunch. I have a list of a bunch of them. I can't remember them off the top of my head. So I kind of split test those. And then the actual ad that runs, I do a seller financing ad. So it's a little bit different. And then you kind of got to play with them to see what works good and what doesn't work good. Like, I split tested one ad where I like changed too many things in the ad at once, and then it like didn't perform. So you have to be really careful with stuff like that. Like, you should only change one thing, like, you know, whether it's the font of the ad or the picture. But I changed like a whole bunch of stuff, and then it just went to shit. So yeah, there's just little things like that you have to kind of know. I paid somebody to teach me how to do this. I knew a lot of it, but I don't know how to retarget. Well, I kind of know how to retarget, but I'm definitely not a guru when it comes to Facebook ads. I understand the gist of them, but like, I mean, my ads they're pretty good. Like, I had 14 leads in 1 week, and then I went to go like monetize it and dump a bunch of money into it, but that's when I changed all the stuff in the ad, and it just didn't perform at all. So I had to kind of start over. But I mean, I've closed deals from them. They do work, but you do have to keep them in a follow-up system, like some sort of text messaging or email or some sort of follow-up, because you sometimes have to chase them, is what I feel with Facebook.
When you say chase them, Leanna, are you talking about it takes kind of multiple contact attempts to get in touch with them?
It'll take. Sometimes you can get a hold of them right away. Sometimes it's just silly people entering in people's information, and it really isn't anything. And then sometimes they just don't pick up the phone. So sometimes you're hitting them, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before they respond to you, which is kind of normal, right? When you're cold calling, it's anywhere between like 7 and 10 times before somebody responds, if they don't respond right away.
Yeah, because that was one of my things when I was thinking about ads. I was wondering, like, particularly with Facebook, like, would it be just a lot of like just goofy people entering information?
Sometimes, it pees me off when that happens, because it's like, oh, you're wasting my money.
Right, because you still have to pay for it.
But yeah, like, I mean, I had one really good lead. I'm still working him, actually, and it's been probably like close to a bloody year that I'm trying to work with this guy. But he's just so analytical. And he just is down to, like, he just knows everything. And he wants the most money for its property, but he's like in that realm where he doesn't realize that it's going to take X amount of dollars to fix it up. And yeah, he's talked to like everybody under the sun, about it. So he's got all these different ideas, he's just one of those people. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I mean, they take a little bit of work, and Facebook changes the rules all the time.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep it like in the uppity up with advertising rules, or they'll shut you down.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing too that kind of gets me when you talk about like Facebook or any of that advertising, is because they kind of adjust the algorithms, pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Last time I was told this. Yeah, like it's like every 2 weeks or so, every 2.5 weeks, they're changing something up as it relates to that, and you kind of have this constant jousting match between you and them. On
the biggest thing is you have to click, like, there's a little button in there you have to click. It says you're advertising on behalf of housing. So if you don't click, it's like special circumstances or something. Sometimes the ads won't get approved because they'll say, oh, you did something wrong, so they're kind of sticky that way. But for the most part, I just keep running like the same ad over and over again. Once one works, you just have to go with it.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Quick really reset. Easy to get like buyer leads for lease options and stuff.
Yeah.
And like cash buyers, it's really easy to get those leads from Facebook. They're like a dime a dozen when you shove out those ads. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up. I want to continue this, but want to do a quick reset. This is the Wholesaling Power Hour. We're having an open forum, just kind of open discussion. If you're in the audience and you want to come up and participate in the conversation, just raise your hand and I will pull you up. Definitely want to hear from you. Click on the greenhouse at the top. The Property Champs Club would love to tap in and have you participate with us. And definitely, if you hear something that resonates with you from anyone here on stage, definitely look to tap in with them and follow. And let's all follow each other as well. So with that, social media. Again, what are you guys utilizing? Of course, Clubhouse is one social media, right, that we've all picked up here in the last.
Hey, Washington, D.C., spring is almost here, and now's the perfect time to get a healthy, pest-free lawn with your local experts at True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 877-461-0681 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
At T-Mobile, we believe in putting people first by treating them right. So we're upping the benefits without upping the price. Introducing Magenta Max, now with unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. Plus, get Netflix on us. Right now, pay $0 cost to switch. And bring your phone, we'll pay it off up to $650. Only at T-Mobile.
Activate up to 4K or video streams at 480p, up to 40 gigs high-speed tethering, $650 via virtual prepaid card, allow 15 days. SIM and support charges waived. Receive Netflix standard with 2 lines.
Last several weeks or a couple months, that I think we can all attest to has been positive. But, Cash, I know you mentioned some things around social media earlier. Did you have any thoughts on kind of, specifically what you utilize and how you utilize it and maybe how that's changed over time?
Yeah, sure. We do use Facebook ads. We typically spend about $30,000 a month on Facebook ads, and there's been seasons in there where we've lost a significant amount of money. And getting started up and finding out what was effective cost a lot of money. So I don't recommend it to anyone just getting in unless you are ready to burn some cash, because it's a really good way to get clicked out of business really quick. If you don't know what you're doing. Because even with a small budget, it's hard to accomplish a lot and get a lot of data on what's working and what's not. So what we'll do is we are in a special ads category. We're in real estate, so we cannot target practically anything that would be meaningful anymore. We started in an era where you could do that, and it was like raking in business hand over fist with Facebook 6 years ago, and it's not that way anymore since the special ad category came in. And special ad categories are for real estate, credit, housing, credit, and I forget one other opportunity, but there's a lot of restrictions around those. But what you can do is you can target up to 15 kilometers or 25 miles. So that's not very targeted, but if you like Leanna said, you can also target counties. And what we have found is, since we have a retail agency as well, so we do the listing and buy sides as well. What we have found is that Facebook wasn't driving for a while the type of quality of leads we wanted, and it drew a lot of people who really qualified for a listing. So we were able to capitalize on those leads that way. But when we set up our campaigns, I think something that would be helpful for anyone looking to try this would be to iterate. So we set up maybe 4 or 5 campaigns, and within those campaigns, we'll try 3 different headlines, and then we'll make a duplicate of that campaign, and then we will test 3 different images. And once we find the best quality and quantity produced, and we have a quality lead score analyzer that we use internally. We developed. It's a way that we score the quality of a lead based on a scale of 3 to 9, and those each number represents something. And And so we really want to know where the quality leads are coming from. And so our 7, 8s, and 9s typically are coming from other sources. And Google produces a lot of 3, 4, 5, 6s, some people that really are going to not be very highly motivated. But it does work. It does work if you can really nail it down. So what we've done is just as long as we create those campaigns and then we test and iterate and iterate and iterate and iterate, headline and image and headline and image and headline and image, until you really narrow down what ad works. Now, there's a couple things you probably want to keep in mind with Facebook marketing. We do a lot of it. We spend $30,000 a month in our real estate business, but then we probably spend another $6,000 to $7,000 a month in our e-commerce business. And so we've got quite a bit of experience. And I've met with Google, with Facebook, and what they've said is that you don't want to change your bidding more than 25% within a 72-hour period. What this does is it pulls in new cohorts. So Google is going to spend your daily budget no matter what, or no matter what the quality of the audience. So they're going to pull those people in, new people in, who may be less qualified, and enter a new learning phase. So the algorithm has to learn, are these people going to convert? And they're spending your money to figure that out. So what we'll do is we'll follow that advice, and we got a lot better results as we only make a maximum of 25% budget change within a 72-hour period, so that learning phase can happen more quickly. Because if you change the budget twice, it enters another learning phase and starts that 72-hour period over again. So if you find something that's working, don't just up that budget every single day. That was a big mistake we made. Scale it up 25%, 72 hours. Keep iterating your ads until you find something that works. That's just some kind of basic principles that work for us.
Yeah, see, that's what's ultimately critical. What you just shared, Cash, is something that typically you'd sit down with someone that's more like a social media guru, and they may or may not share that with you, and that's a critical piece to performance is understanding what you just shared, that kind of 72-hour, 25%, kind of principle within ads, and just your overall experience with what you shared even early on about how you can really burn through cash if you don't set those ads up correctly, man. So hopefully everybody likes that, because that you probably save some people a lot of heartache and maybe a lot of money. Who were maybe considering doing, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or any of the social media ads. And, Cash, I'm with you. I remember, the early days of Facebook were before the algorithms and before the IPO and that sort of thing, where you could just kind of connect with everybody. And it didn't really, matter. And, that made it, quite lucrative in those early days. And then once it kind of changed and flipped, it just changed the game. You have to maneuver and pivot a whole lot more, man. So thank you so much, Cash, for sharing that. Any other quick thoughts? Social media? Jack, Gina, any thoughts from you guys' end?
I mean, I really don't use social media marketing. Haven't got to that point where I want to even dive into that. But I'm glad he did put that out there, because that is expensive. It's like, do you have the systems in place, the knowledge to even be able to tackle such a monster? Google, Facebook, I think that takes a lot of timing and a lot of money that I am definitely not at that point yet. To even burn $30K, no thank you. But I will get there, just not at this present moment.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I've been doing it for a while, and I lost $60,000 in marketing by one mistake in the month of December. That was a really big loss by making one mistake, and that was because I continued to try to solve a problem post an election. And so I met with Facebook, and it was just a season post-election. People are kind of freezing up and not taking the actions that they normally would. So the market's very different. And so the learning phase of these algorithms is totally thrown off by a post-election season. And I wasn't aware of that. And so I kept on scaling my budgets and trying different ads, and I was changing things really quickly. And this is just a few months ago. Because I was really desperate to get it back to working again, and just met with Facebook, and they shared that, hey, this is normal for post-election. Sorry. And I was like, gosh, if I had just made that call, I could have, saved $60,000. But yes, it's a very dangerous thing to get into if you're going to try to scale it up quickly and not really understand the nuances. So I meet with Facebook every 2 weeks to make sure that I'm aware of every single thing that's going on in that algorithm.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up, Cash. And again, I'd like to be in tune with you, and periodically kind of hear some of those updates. You should maybe start a room and share some of those updates. So
I
many
know. I think
people
him and his
use.
wife should definitely have a room, a club. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, Gina. I agree with you. So, yeah, Jack, for you and your wife, for the Mrs., definitely do that, because I know I probably wouldn't have a Mrs. if I lost 60K in no December, really any month of the year. But if I lose 60K, my wife's probably going to drop me off at the. Sorry about that. Had a call come in. If I lose 60K, she's going to drop me at one of you guys as the doorsteps or at the fire station. So, yeah, wow. Yeah, that's definitely something. So anyway, we're up against the hour. Again, this is a power hour. We try to stick to that as much as possible. So again, tap in with Property Champs there at the top, the greenhouse. Definitely link up and follow everybody on stage. All of the moderators here and any of the speakers, and definitely tap in and link up with each other. You never know who's in these rooms that could be a game changer for you, and you can be a game changer for them in a bi-directional sense. One last kind of topic before we end the room, because I know everybody's busy and probably getting summoned into other rooms and that sort of thing, but appreciate you guys rocking out here with us. One last quick topic is, in the spirit of, for those that have, and Ty left, but he's at work, but in the spirit of those that are closing their first deals, and maybe those who have closed multiple deals, kind of a two-parter here. For those who just recently closed your first deal, what's the first thing that you want to do with your money? So if you're wholesaling or whatever it is, what's the first thing that you want to do if you hadn't closed a deal? Or what is something that you did when you did close your first deal, with that money? So, Jack, if you want to jump in, you recently closed a deal, man. Are we going to see you at the Bahamas next week, or what's going on?
Man, I wish I was going to the Bahamas next week. I'm just going to invest it back into the business, do some more marketing, get all my systems and everything more set up, and work on some automation. Yeah, automation. And I'm going to also focus on inbound leads as well.
There you go. Yeah, so I love that. Jack coming through with the maturity, Action Jackson. Man, I love that, man. Taking action, and he says he's putting it back into business. So I love that. Gina, what's going on? We go see you in Cabo, or what's up? What's going on?
No, not yet. Okay, trying to have a birthday tour in June, but we'll get there eventually. But yeah, no, for me, just invested back into the business as far as like pulling more lists, trying to focus on like marketing as well. I don't want to hire like a VA yet, because I want to have all aspects of my business down, like right now, like through and through, before I just have somebody making these calls for me or pulling these lists. Like I want to be able to be an expert in my own business. So definitely put money back into wholesaling. I love looking at my bank account every morning. It gives me motivation, but more importantly, like, I'm realistic. I pay bills. I help my mom out a lot. And yeah, I'm a realtor as well, so I had MLS fees due, so real life things, but definitely put a lot of it into my bank account. So yeah, I'm unemployable by choice at this time, so for me, it just gave me the satisfaction that I was able to leave my job, and I was able to make more in that one check than I would do in almost. I worked in sales, so I was still really good, but for me, my security was knowing that I had that money there, and it was definitely a major, major substitute to having that 9-to-5 income. So it gave me peace of mind.
Yeah, man, Gina, that's definitely what's up, man. You shared some great nuggets in that, and how you utilize that, and obviously you had kind of the personal things to take care of, but and you took care of your mom, things like that, and putting it back into the business, and I love what you said about even with the VA, that, like you said, that's smart in my opinion, that those things kind of come as you kind of develop and get your arms really wrapped around your business. And, so you don't never want to feel the pressure of feeling like you got to run and do that. Even if it's working for someone else in their business, you know yourself and kind of yours. And so, that maturity definitely, will pay dividends for you, as you do scale up, when you're truly ready. Right. I say this to people, I didn't pick up a VA for the first 11 years, right? So, from 2007 till 2018, I didn't even consider one, right? And so that was just my choice, and I wanted to make sure I all the calls start coming in now. But I just wanted to make sure that I had, my arms wrapped around it. So, Leanna, when you closed your first deal, did you buy the Mercedes or what did you do first?
Nope, I did not. No, I invested it back into the business. I paid some bills, but that's kind of what I did with my first check. I mean, I didn't get a VA till literally like a couple months ago. Everyone thought that I had this like huge team, but really it's just been me doing all this hustle by myself. And now I just kind of felt that I don't want to be making the calls myself to qualify people. So I was reluctant though, because I'm cheap and I don't like to spend money. I'm like, I don't want to spend $600. But I think it's really going to help, just because I don't have to be so busy. And yeah, like I said, I've taken the last 6 or 7 months and haven't really been doing too much at all just because of family stuff. So my business has taken a little bit of a hit and I'm starting kind of back over, but I'm still closing deals and I just need to get a pipeline again, which I'm sure won't take too long, maybe a month or so, and I'll be back to doing that. But yeah, definitely, I think anytime you got to reinvest it back into your business, or else you're just going to be stuck in that hamster wheel of having no money and working really hard, and then having no money and working really hard, right? So, yeah.
Man, yeah. See, I love y'all. See, y'all are so much better than I was. My first one, and this was before you could stun on the gram or on social media. I hit the plane. I was out.
I wish. I mean, I have goals to do that, next year. Like I said, I want to take my kids to Disneyland. They're not in the room, so I can talk about it. But, I definitely have goals to travel and be able to, come to the States and meet some people that, I talk to every day. I have a lot of people that I talk to. It'd be nice to actually see people face to face and whatnot. I did make one connection, actually, on Clubhouse. He lives about 30 minutes from me. So we're actually going to meet tomorrow, which is kind of cool. Because even like my mentor, I've never met. Like the guy who taught me how to do this, I've never met him ever, So it'd be cool to, thank him in person for everything he's done for me and still does for me, right? But, we'll be in Miami one day. Don't worry.
I mean, if I next check my kid trying to go to Disney next month, she only 4, so I know Disney is expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive to go.
That's facts.
It'll be.
I don't even know if that's a wise decision to do, but
it'll probably be like
something
$10K
Disney,
just to go to Disneyland. I think it's pretty bloody expensive.
Let me tell you, it is. So I gotta go. I need about $7,000 off this next deal to just hit. Okay, but yeah, Disney.
Yeah. Well, I just the phone call that I had to take earlier was just getting my banking information. So I should have just for selling Investor Lift. So that'll be a nice paycheck, which is super exciting. So it'll be almost $10K as an affiliate payment for me. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, very dope. Very dope. So there you go.
Just for like really not doing very much work. So
right.
I'm down.
There you go. And then you could just flip that over to Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, I wish I could. No, I have to move into a new house, so I got stuff I gotta pay here too. I wish I could, but no, gotta be a little bit more, settled. I'd feel more comfortable, in another 6 or 8 months. I think I'll be okay. But taking time off, it's hard, when you don't do any deal, because I really didn't. There were days where I would just like sit in front of my computer and just like stare at it and not really know what to do when we were going through, all of this grief and stuff. So it's amazing how much it actually like affects your business when you stop, like you start and go. I don't suggest to do that, but I was kind of paralyzed in with what we were dealing with. So I had to, but yeah, that definitely taken a hit on my business for sure, but
Yeah, you know,
it'll come back around.
Yeah, you know, Leanna, that's real. I appreciate you sharing that, and I actually heard your story in one of Otis's rooms. You know, several weeks back that it really just the thing is you get close to people through these profile pics and hearing people's voices, right? And that's one of the intriguing things of Clubhouse, and you really get to know people and consider them family, and to hear you and others even in that room on that day. Kind of share your personal stories, man. It's just, and we all go through our various, trials and tribulations. But to hear it and to hear the empathy and to hear just how you're dealing with that in your voice is just it's unreal.
Definitely
so
was not something that was expected, and I've never had. Even like my grandparents are still alive, right? So I've never had anyone close to me pass away. And then to see like my 11-year-old stepdaughter just have to go through that, losing her mom, it was just like, damn, like I just want to fix everything, right? But I've realized that I can't fix it. I just have to be there for her. And definitely it's been a trying experience. And I think I've realized I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. But it's still, definitely not something you want to go through. But I think, at that time it was like, I can't do work. So my family's more important. And that's why I had to stop working. But I'll never leave real estate, I love it too much. But that's just my journey, right?
Yeah.
I'll get back on track and things will be good.
Oh yeah, you'll be up and running. I mean, I know you're already working towards that, Leanna, but you'll be up and running. And yeah, I mean, I had tears when you shared your story, and others were. I had tears in my eyes. I mean, my oldest daughter's 11, right, and I just could not imagine. So I appreciate you sharing that. That just gave me such a great perspective that day and just now. So thank you so much for that. And
yeah, and I don't ever want to like clout and tell people that I'm doing all these amazing deals, and I've done deals and I've made money, but I'm certainly not dropping 6 figures every month right now. But I do know what I'm talking about. I do know the business really well.
Facts.
So.
Yeah, facts. That's the authenticity piece of it that I definitely gravitate to, right? And so thank you so much for
sure.
that. Cash, think back to your first deal. What did you do? Did you buy the private jet? Were you on the PJ Man, or what did you do with that money when you first closed your first deal?
No private jet, and I did not get to hear Leanna's story. I'd love to hear that. I too have 4 kids. That all 4 of them are stepkids. And I did take the punch in the face. Took them to Disney World. And we went in the off season, and it was about $8,000 to do the whole thing.
You see what I'm saying? I can even cut him off. Oh my God, $8,000! Like I was being funny.
But
I know
4
I
kids,
can't
right?
fathom spending that much on a trip either. But
But Cash, that was with for yourself, your wife, and 4 kids. So 6 people.
Yeah, that was 6 people, and we went to January, last January. So that's the off season. So that's the cheapest. And we just did an Airbnb, and the Airbnb was like $400 for the whole week, in the off season. But it's Disneyland is painful. Not going to do it again. Fortunately, my kids are old enough now. My oldest ones are 17 and 21. So I think I'm past the Disney days, and I only had to do it once. So barely scraped by. But no, Leanna, I know what you're talking about. Those seasons I've been there. I've done well in real estate, and then got to a point where there was $5,000 left, and I had a $20,000 payroll to pay. So
it sucks.
I have lost sleep, and I've closed my business twice, temporarily, of course, knowing that I was going to come back, but. Because I started with a partner. The partner actually stole all of the money.
Oh my God, that happened to me.
Wow.
That's exactly what happened to me before. All this stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so I'd love to connect sometime and just hear your story and hear what you've been through. This business is not easy, and by no means, I never want to make it look like while you catch me in a season while I'm doing well, that it doesn't get hard sometimes. So No, the first deal actually, I didn't do my first deal. I was a hairstylist, and I traveled a lot because I worked with Justin Bieber, and so that just took up a lot of my time. Yeah,
were you his hairstylist?
Y'all haven't read his bio? Like, oh my God.
No, I haven't. That's awesome.
Like,
funny story about Justin Bieber. My husband's from Stratford, Ontario, and so my sister-in-law dated Justin Bieber's dad back in the day when Justin was like in diapers, and my husband remembers him running around the house. That's so funny.
Wow. I didn't know him back then, but he's been a good friend of mine for the last many years, and so that was taking up a lot of my time when I started my real estate business, and so I had to, in order to invest in real estate, I had to find people. And since that day, I think my biggest investment has been back into people, because they have been the greatest source of leverage for me to accomplish what I do. So I made a deal, and I said, hey, if you can be the feet on the ground, I will pay to find the deal, and I'll walk with the deal, walk through the deal with you. I just need you to go take the call, go to the house, and close it. And so that is how I closed my first deal. I was remote. I was in Los Angeles, and my friend was in Dallas, and I said, hey, can you just go get this deal? Here's what to say, here's what to do. And that's how I closed it. And I made $7,000 off that first deal. Sold it to a couple from California. I'm sure they made a pretty penny. And I took the $7,000 and gave it all to him. And it hooked him in the business. And I knew that if he didn't see a big payoff and a big reward right away, I'm sorry, I didn't give it all to him. We gave him $5,000 on that, kept $2,000, and continued to market. But I didn't make anything off that first deal. And so he got hooked and said, wow, $5,000, that's amazing. Anytime you need me to go to a house. Turned out he's a great guy, good closer, and that's how it happened. But if you have good people and you have good people in your network, rewarding them well, will pay off tenfold in your business. So do good by people, treat people well, promote them, do right by them, build them up, and it'll come back to you so much more.
Cash, I love that. That's a tremendous insight, and great perspective. And that's what our business is about. That's what our lives are about, right? Is, how do we, add value, and how do we support each other, and what do we do for people, right? It's not always, this kind of transition from when I played ball and into, my business, my personal life. I never, go about striving to be the best. I always wanted to be the most felt, right? I always wanted to be, remembered. And so that's what, kind of motivates me through what I do. People always debate who's the best, right? Take, like you're talking about Justin Bieber, they're always going to pit his career up against some other, entertainer, and someone's going to say he's the best of this, and someone else is going to say someone else is the best of that, right? But if you can, if you make an impact on people, right, in a positive fashion, people will always remember that, and that's really difficult to debate, right? And so, I definitely love that. Thanks so much, Cash. Naomi, let's hear from you. Kind of the question, what did you do with if you closed your...
Hey, Washington, D.C., spring is almost here, and now's the perfect time to get a healthy, pest-free lawn with your local experts at True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 877-461-0681 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of. Hey, Washington, D.C., spring is almost here, and now's the perfect time to get a healthy, pest-free lawn with your local experts at True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 877-461-0681 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
First deal, what did you do with it? If you hadn't closed your first deal, what are you going to do with the money? Are you going to, catch the Royal Caribbean cruise, or are you going to put it back in the business? What are you looking to do?
As I had said last night in the other room, that I have my first deal under contract. And I was asking the question, should I throw it back? Because it was in a little remote area. Most of the cash buyers were kind of just like, where is that place? And they buy property out here in Alabama, and they just didn't know where this place was. However, they gave me some strategies last night that I'm going to apply today. And when it's a small deal. I don't expect much money from it. If I have to go down to, I probably expect like $4,000 from it. If I have to go down to like $2,000, that's fine. My whole thing is just getting to the closing table and getting through the process so that I can know the process, like, on hand, so that I won't just be like, okay, this is the process, but I never do it. I need to see that process take place. So that's my whole purpose of saying, okay, let me get to the closing table with this first deal. I will put money back into my business. So I don't have my LLC. I want my LLC because I want to get transitional funding so that I can do double closing. And in order to do that, this place, they want you to have your LLC. So that's one reason why I want to put back into the business. I do everything myself right now. I don't have any VAs. I do have someone that owes me 15 hours of VA for free. So I'm keeping that in my back pocket when I need it, because right now I don't necessarily need it. I do all my I just do cold calling myself. And I literally just started last week, like made myself do it, because I was sitting for like a month just like, okay, I'm getting all this information, all this training, all this, and I was just sitting. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And so then I had got the first deal under contract. So now I'm just working that. And I'm gonna put back into my business right away.
Yep, absolutely, Naomi. And you touched on a really powerful point as well about kind of getting the deal closed, right? And so, whether it's $4,000, whether it's $2,000, I've done them as small as $753, right? But getting the deal closed is really where it counts, because, like you say, that's how you learn the process. That's how you start to develop a reputation of someone who can get things done. And it just goes so much further. So even if you're not always able to get the big splashes, right? Get those deals closed, because one, whether it's $4,000 or $2,000, it's still that's more than what you'd have at that moment, right? Yeah, so no one's gonna turn their nose up at getting an additional $4,000 or $2,000, and so definitely that's a great attitude and perspective to have that I'd share with anybody in here is if you can get the deal done, right? Every deal is different. Every deal kind of stands on its own, and so you learn something from every single one that you go through the process and close. So, Naomi, thanks for sharing that, and look forward to hearing you getting that one closed and others. Love to hear you pop in these rooms and kind of continue to share your progress with that, and we want to celebrate you when you do get one closed, and that's for anybody. We want to celebrate it, no matter how big or small it is. All of them are tremendous. So, thank you.
I had a quick question. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Quick question. I had someone contact me, because when you post in the Facebook groups, I don't know how legit they are of a buyer, but they did contact me asking me if I have any deals in Long Island or New York, which I'm not in that market. I haven't looked. Can I please let them know they're looking for to do rehabs, like fix and flips? And I just wanted to know, because I heard a lot about that market. It's very expensive. It's a lot. It's very oversaturated. I don't really know. But does anybody have any information on those markets?
I just want to say, first, you got to get that out of your head. Oversaturated. The bread hour was oversaturated, and we still pick bread. Oversaturated, never. Just find your niche and work it. Now that's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah, no, I would, so one, I would agree with Gina that I've never, like I said, I've never really bought into the whole saturation piece, right? There are a lot of people that do a lot of different things, right? Whether it's the restaurant industry, whether it's in food services, whatever it is. Most things have some level of saturation to them. It's really just about how you differentiate yourself. And so, yeah, Naomi, I'm definitely kind of with you there in terms of with Long Island. I'll get to that in a second, but just in terms of that saturation, it's just for everybody. Don't get so caught up into that. Saturation also can somewhat prove proof of concept, right? So a lot of people get into stuff right when they see it work. And so then it's just about again, how you differentiate yourself. What do you bring unique to the marketplace, which every single person does. Every single one of you all bring something unique to the table. So it's about harnessing that, and ultimately, do you understand the business, and do you understand kind of what was said earlier with Cash and some others? Do you understand working with people and taking care of people, and having that at the forefront of your motivation? And so I want to add that piece to what Gina said as well. But Naomi, I don't know much about the Long Island, kind of those markets. I can't imagine that they are fairly expensive, and there may be people who may not spend maybe as much time there as it comes to wholesaling, but there is someone doing deals there, right? Someone's buying real estate, and someone's selling it, right? So it's about, just finding out who those people are. So if someone reached out to you with interest in those markets, you're in a good space with Clubhouse, right? Because you can kind of find and search some profiles and search some keywords here, to find people that are in those markets and see what rooms they're in and go in those rooms, or maybe reach out to them in the DM and connect. And then now you've got, some connection on your team, right? That if those people that reached out to you on social media, if you can vet them out and if they're legit, now you can maybe make a connection, and that could lead to opportunities, for you to collaborate. And so I would encourage you to do that. Just kind of off top, is to kind of leverage what you're already doing here on Clubhouse.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I said, if I could find someone in that market, maybe I could JV. I bring the buyer, they bring the place. So I did think about that. Yeah, okay, that's good advice. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And keep us again in the loop with that as you kind of go forward, because you're right. It's a great opportunity for you to JV and partner. But again, make sure that that passes the dumb test, right? Make sure that that's legit. So whoever you connect with, shouldn't be trying to pay you $50 while they make $50,000. They shouldn't be trying to put you on no kind of contracts and all that type of stuff. I mean, it should be all above board, and they should have good character. So definitely evaluate that with whoever you work with. Definitely do that. CEO, let's hear from you, man. When you close your first deal, what's going on, man? We buying out the bar? What we doing?
Man,
with that money.
Actually, I have not secured. Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I might be losing service a little bit because I'm in this bad area, but I actually haven't secured my first deal yet, but I'm on a hunt as we speak. I'm really out here checking out this property that we found on PropStream, and so far it's looking like a potential. But anyway, I really haven't secured my first deal, but when I do, I don't really plan on like vacating or like spending the money on nothing. I'm a little behind on my car. I have like 2 cars. So basically, before I got into the real estate, I was flipping cars. So I'm a car flipper. And I got like 2 vehicles that I'm a little behind on the maintenance and stuff. So I got to catch up on that. So that'll probably be where my first profit will go into. But from then, I just really plan on just, flipping the houses, getting into the renting them out, and really just that space in it. That's pretty much it, man. But I'm on the hunt right now, though.
Yeah, I love that you're on the prowl, man. You've been working hard for sure. I've heard you in a few different rooms, man. You're staying consistent. Keep at it, and I can appreciate you'll being vulnerable and kind of sharing kind of your situation, of course, with the cars, and that's where this can come, man. It can provide some financial freedom. So that's nothing to be ashamed of at all, man. I think many of us can attest that we've been in different places. Some of us spoke to that, and life still happens even as we're building these real estate businesses. Life is still going on, right? And so that's an opportunity. When you close your first deal, man, you'll be able to take care of those things, and you'll keep building confidence, and you'll keep doing it, man. So I look forward to hearing and celebrating you, bro. Once you do close your first deal, let's make sure we hear about it and we celebrate the hell out of it, right? We're always there for the sometimes the negative pieces, right? And we can drill down into problems, but let's all of us let's just celebrate profusely those wins as well, man. So thanks for sharing that, CEO, and check out that property, man. See if you can get it done.
Most definitely, most definitely. I really gotta thank y'all in general, because before this club, I just really got on Clubhouse maybe like a month ago or so. Before this, I was pretty much just YouTubing, and YouTube give you only so much, and you gotta put the rest of the pieces together, which is how it's supposed to be. But when I got here amongst y'all on Clubhouse, man, it's like y'all really just motivate me to go harder with this house looking, and just getting into the real estate in general, and I really appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah, no, man. Definitely, man. Thanks for those kind words. I think we can all echo that, and we all learn from each other, right, man? So we can learn from you too, CEO. As you pick up skill set and things like that. Like I said earlier, we all have something unique. We all bring something different to the table, man, and we can all learn. And you never get too big to learn, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care if you close a deal every hour, right? You never get too big to learn and to be able to expand your perspective. So I definitely appreciate that, bro. Go get them.
Most def. I'm on it.
Yes, sir. So Brink, my girl Brink, what's going on down there in Florida? She's a wealth of information and a tremendous resource. So Brink, I'll ask you, when you close your first deal, what's going on? We going to Europe or what's up?
Let me tell you. Now that's really quick. Hey, Brent, can you introduce yourself? Cash is someone who has a major real estate business, and you might be able to utilize or incorporate. Let him know your background, so he knows.
Yeah, sure. And thank you for that, Gina. So my name is Denise. I go by Brink. I'm located here in North Florida, in the Jacksonville, Florida area. I've been down here for about 3 years. I'm originally from the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. I am an investigator for a federal agency. In addition to that, I am an investigator for hire under my business, Pro Strategic Analysis, LLC, where I investigate all matters of fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. Thanks to a few people in this room, I have added high-level skip tracing to my book of business. So I'll be assisting probate attorneys as well as investors and wholesalers in locating owners who are hard to locate, or people who are the decision makers on a property who have been hard to locate. I just committed to wholesaling on March 1st. And so I'm fairly new to the real estate aspect. So I've just been soaking up information from Clubhouse and getting out of what CEO just mentioned was that YouTube purgatory. So yeah, that's me. So if I can be of any assistance to anyone, please connect with me on Clubhouse. My Instagram is linked, and I also have my informational business email address on my Clubhouse bio as well.
Hey, Brent, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you have any experience investigating or locating heirs of properties?
Not directly. I've never had anyone propose that to me. I'm fairly new in the real estate field. However, because of what I do for a living, I'm really good at locating almost anyone. So I'm sure that I could be of assistance with that.
So we lose deals every once in a while, and when we win them, it just takes a crazy amount of effort to locate these heirs. In the state of Texas, every heir is entitled to the proceeds of the sale of a property, and it doesn't matter if that heir was from 5 divorces ago or not. And a lot of times there's 9, 12, 15 heirs we have to locate. 5 of them are in jail, 3 of them are out of the country, and we do this. But it is very time consuming for our staff, and I was just curious to see if you had any experience and know of anyone who has experience in doing this, because in the state of Texas it's particularly difficult. My wife Courtney just joined in, it looks like, and Courtney, I was just asking Brink, she's an investigator. I was sharing with our difficulty in closing deals where there are multiple heirs and how much of a workload that is. And Brink kind of specializes in some investigation. So I was just asking her what she specializes in. So Brink, I definitely want to connect with you and just kind of share more about that and see if it's something that, if you're an expert at locating people, that may be something we'd be very interested in.
Absolutely. And I do have resources available since I am an investigator for hire. So there are some creditors and some other vendors who give me access to information that no one else has access to because I am a licensed investigator. So I can assist. I should be able to assist with that. And I look forward to connecting with you.
It's the skills for me, Brink. See, I told you, well, we told you, utilize your
You guys did.
because you can provide value. I'm so happy for you. Yes.
Thanks, sis. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that is incredible. And Gina, let me thank you for kind of circling the wagons back and making sure that Brink did introduce herself, because we might have missed out on that value had we not allowed her the opportunity to do that. So Gina, thank you so much. We're so focused on trying to get to the question.
No problem. I just think you and your wife are just like the duo for me, but what got it for me was just like the value that you guys already were providing around cash, but then to hear that your children are interested in real estate, and then Courtney just following down in the audience, not saying nothing, but then comes up and be the wingman for her husband yesterday. So I just think it's just a great duo. I just love it.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah, no, definitely incredible. So go ahead, Brink.
So to answer your question, Champ, so I haven't closed my first deal yet, of course. However, I'm an 80-20 girl with a lot of things. And I'm an 80-20 girl with my salary. And I'm an 80-20 girl with my diet. I eat 80% healthy, 20% what the hell I want. That keeps me happy. And so with wholesaling, I plan to keep 20% of all my earnings, but reinvest 80. And then for every 5 properties that I wholesale, I plan to look and purchase one to hold. So
yes, Brink, come through with it. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you didn't know anything really about real estate. You just really committed to this on March 1st, and you got a whole game plan. Yes.
You have to have a game plan. You have to with all things. And I'm a type A personality too, and I can overanalyze things to a T, but I know for a fact having a game plan is really what keeps me on track and what motivates me.
Yes, I listen, this is tremendous energy, and I love the connections and the camaraderie that comes, from being in these rooms and just hearing you all speak and just exchange that positive vibe. Just again, thank you all so much. And Brink, I've had an opportunity. You've been, tremendous for myself, so I can definitely attest. You helped me with tracking down someone that was kind of difficult to find. And going back to Cash's point, that might have been something that I may have missed in the past. Right, just do a normal skip trace and just miss it. So definitely thank you for that, and for sharing kind of your plans and that sort of thing. And definitely look forward to seeing how you and Cash and Courtney can maybe partner up and link up, for bi-directional value. So definitely thank you. And Courtney, thank you for allowing us a little bit of time here with Cash. We've had kind of an open forum here in this room, and so I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and kind of share some thoughts from your end.
Awesome, thank you. I was super excited to even see that this room existed. I really only get on Clubhouse when I'm driving to and from appointments, because other than that, I am in the office. I'm the boots on the ground for our company, so I do all of the sales and acquisition. And I'm just 1,000% obsessed with wholesaling and real estate in general. And so it just excites me to see people that are like-minded. Brink, like, I love that you just did this March 1st and you have a plan. And I tell you what, the only thing I would tell you is you can't overanalyze when it comes to wholesaling, because you can end up being the top wholesaler that buyers will come to, that investors will come to. When I first started, my plan was to just, how can I stand out from everybody else? And it was to run solid numbers and give actual values to investors, not just throwing out, oh, here's a $200,000 ARV, it needs $5,000 in repairs, and the price is $150,000, and then they get there and it needed $15,000 or $20,000. I run my numbers conservatively, and so all of my clients are happy across the board. And as an investor, Cash and I have been able to always be more conservative and make more instead of getting hit harder because we overanalyze. So you're doing an awesome job, and I'm just excited to be on this team up here. This is awesome.
Yes, Courtney. Again, just continuing those positive vibes, and thank you so much. That's definitely great insight, and like Gina said, you and Cash are definitely a dynamic duo, and we look forward to learning from you and kind of hearing that various levels of insight. I think it helps all of us, no matter where we are in our business. Some of us, Courtney, are newer in the business on the stage, or some are like me and have been at this for many years. This is actually my 14th year, so. Irregardless of that, we all have that capacity to learn and get a little better and be able to network and where opportunities lie, be able to work together. And so that's what it's all about. So thank you guys so much for taking time out, and Courtney for while you're driving, and Cash, we definitely thank you for the insight you've provided, and just everybody. It's just tremendous. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And we're going to get ready to shut the room down. I know we're kind of in the middle of the day. Everybody's got different tasks they want to try to do. And I definitely want to be a proponent of everyone taking action in something today. And so before we close out, I just want to hear kind of something quick from our moderators as we close. So Jack, and then Gina, and then Cash, and then Courtney, if you want to give us kind of some parting words or thoughts quickly, the floor is yours. We'll start with Jack.
I'll just say, if you're new at this, just keep going. Don't give up. The deals always come from follow-ups. And, basically just that.
For me, I'll just say thank you, Champ, as always, for allowing me to grace this stage with you guys. But thank you, Cash and Courtney, for just even coming into our room and just being able to provide the value. Brink, I'm so proud of you, CEO. Just remember, your current situation is not going to be your forever circumstances. And I just want to say, although our room gets small sometimes, and it's not like 600, 700 people in the room, right? I feel like when I got on Clubhouse, I was intimidated by those large rooms. I wouldn't go up and speak. I wouldn't ask my questions. None of that. I probably would still be in analysis paralysis, not taking steps with wholesaling if I was still that afraid to go into those large stages. But when I got to the smaller rooms, I found out that I got so much more value from the smaller rooms, and these people have really become like a family to me, and I haven't met not one person, but I can call Champ going to walk me through a deal. I can ask Jack a question, Jack going to answer. So the smaller rooms provide so much value, and even when we do get larger, we'll still have those same values. So I just want everyone to succeed, and reach out to me as I'm a resource if you guys need anything. Have a great day, guys. Let's make some money.
Love that, Gina. Love that. And it's great to connect with you, sis. And I know we're going to be doing that here in just a little while today on our project. But definitely tremendous words of kindness and support. So definitely appreciate that. Cash, and then Courtney, if you want to give some parting thoughts, we'd love to hear from you.
Champ and Gina, I love you guys' energy. It's amazing. Sorry, I'm in a warehouse right now with tape being put on boxes. So I apologize for the noise, but I'll just make a final comment that I really stand by. When people come first, success will follow.
Yep, I love that. And definitely be careful in the warehouse. I've definitely been a part of that, touring those. So, Cash, again, thank you so much, my man, and look forward to remaining connected. And Courtney, any kind of parting thoughts for you?
Wow, everybody has said such great things, and I completely agree with what Jack said. The money is in the follow-up. I have followed up on some leads as much as 4, 5, even 6 years and closed them. So don't give up. If you're building this from the beginning and you're getting these relationships going, when it comes to sellers, keep in touch. Be the person that they think of when they do sell. So don't give up. It's awesome.
I'll jump in and add one thing that Courtney does insanely well. And anyone in this room, please connect with her because she knows what she's doing. She's built such strong rapport and such a large investor network. Her investors will buy houses sight unseen, and she'll make up to $70,000 a rip. So keep that in mind. And these are not $1 million homes. She'll make 30, 40, 70. And so she has built real strong relationships and real trust with people, and that's where the people component comes in. She's a real master of that.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, look at that. Oh, I love that with the love connection here in the wholesaling power hour. You guys are tremendous, and Again, thank you so much for sharing that, and look forward to remaining connected and seeing you in other rooms. And always feel free to pop in and come on stage and share insight here with anything we're doing as it relates to the Property Champs Club. Definitely love to have you guys. And so we're going to go ahead and close out. Thanks again to our moderators. CEO, thank you so much, man. Brother, keep going. Brink, definitely love what you've got doing and appreciate all that you're doing and kind of sharing your insight. Definitely thank you. Thank you for everybody that's been in the audience. Continue to connect with each other. Look at bios. See where there's opportunity. Right? If you didn't come on stage today or didn't have that opportunity, again, hit the greenhouse there at the top for Property Champs Club. We're going to be opening up more Power Hour opportunities for us to connect and dig into some topics and try to help you along with your business, and then celebrate the hell out of all of the wins that come about. And so definitely enjoy and be blessed in the rest of your day. And remember, you're the very best you who will ever exist. And so go take action and live with your story, right? And so take care and hit me up if you see that I can be a resource. But guys, take care. Have a great day.
Hey, Washington, D.C., spring is almost here, and now's the perfect time to get a healthy, pest-free lawn with your local experts at True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 877-461-0681 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Virginia, William Hill, America's #1 sportsbook, is now here. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF.
Terms and conditions apply. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call, text, or chat our confidential and toll-free helpline at 1-888-532-3500.
Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.